This is State Representative Joe Sosnowski with my Springfield Week in Review. Two topics I wanted to discuss with you today, ethics reform and property taxes. As many of you know, there's been a joint commission on ethics reform that has been meeting. Unfortunately, it seems like the Springfield majority are really slow walking this process and not really discussing some of the major ethics reforms that need to happen. There's been some conversations, but still a reluctance to do even small things like banning legislators from lobbying within a year after leaving the legislature. The biggest item that we need for ethics reform, though, is redistricting and fair maps. And as of right now, the Springfield majority and the governor are silent on both of those issues. That will be the true measure of if we can get ethics reform and really create balance in Springfield. Another item of importance that was brought up this week, we and some of my colleagues banded together to present a whole host of property tax reform bills. As many of you know, there was a property tax reform task force that met, failed to meet deadlines, and actually didn't even produce a report with any recommendations. There's simply a draft floating out there with some ideas. Some of the ideas that my colleagues and I proposed, though, would be measures to reduce property taxes for seniors to keep them in their homes, mandate relief for all forms of government in order to drive down costs, which would then be passed on to property taxpayers. And then, of course, the biggest thing is pension reform in order to reduce costs across the board. These are all items that we're pushing. The Springfield majority, again, has been reluctant, even though many of these items and that task force was created at the same time the ballot initiative for the additional income tax was put on. Unfortunately, they've been silent on producing any recommendations for real tax relief. And that has got to be our number one priority in order to drive down costs. We're the second highest state in the nation for property tax, and this is something that has to change. Thanks so much for joining us today. Look forward to talking with you in the future.